With our recent pool table renovation, we knew we needed to build some accessories to match. So today we're gonna be building a pool cue rack and a picture frame that houses the pool rules as well as the triangle. Let's get started. So for this project, we're gonna be building a pool cue rack as well as a frame to house the rules for 8-ball and the triangle. Now for the frames, we're gonna be using 1x3 red oak. And first things first, I'm gonna need to cut a dado in the back of this to accept that it's about 1/4 inch plywood. So, or actually it's MDF. So I am gonna swap out the blade in the table saw for my dado blade, and then we're gonna cut a dado down the back of all of these boards. And then we can come back and we can start to cut them down using the miter saw. We're gonna miter at 45 degrees and assemble the frame. So first I'm gonna start by marking out how deep I want my dado, and we'll just say about 1/4 inch. And then I can take this board on the side and I can lay it up next to my blade and adjust the height of the blade based on how deep I want that cut. So next thing is I'm gonna set my fence location about 1/4 inch away from the blade. That way the dado is recessed into the frame about 1/4 inch so we can add some 1/4 inch plywood to the backer where we need it. Okay, so I know that I need about 1/4 inch wider and taller than the inside of my frame, and that's gonna fill that dado. I'm gonna go ahead and cut down this, this is just 1/4 inch MDF, and I'm gonna be using the track saw. This is the new track saw from Ryobi, and the nice thing about this is I can work safely on the ground supported by this sheet of rigid foam, and with this I can make a nice straight cut. So the most efficient way to do this is to measure and get your 2 tick lines. So I've got 60 1/4 and 60 1/4. And then you just take your track and you line it up with those 2 tick lines and make your cut. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom plate of our frame. Now I want to recess holes, I want to drill holes and recess them into this plate so that we have somewhere for the bottom of the cue sticks to go. I've got these little black felt pads and they are 1 inch in diameter. They're just furniture feet. And I've got a 1 inch Forstner bit that I'm gonna be drilling the holes. That's gonna give me a nice clean flat bottom hole. So I'm gonna have 5 cue places, and I'm gonna equally space them across this by finding center first and marking where I want my first hole to go, and then I'll mark the rest. Now the MDF for the back of this unit is going to be painted with a matte black. However, the red oak frame, I just really don't like how red oak turns very red when you apply a finish to it. So we opted to bleach the oak. To do so, we use a peroxide to wash the oak first, and then we apply a lye mixture. Once that lye sets up in the sun, it's able to bleach the red out of the red oak, and then we can clean it off and apply a polyurethane finish. To make the assembly of this unit really quick and easy, we assembled it with DAP's Rapid Fuse, which is an instant adhesive on each of the miters. We assembled 3 sides first using a pin nailer to hold those together, and then we slid the back in and finished off with the final side. I bought these plastic pieces that are snaps for the top of the pool cues to keep them in place. However, I knew that screwing into just the MDF wasn't going to be sufficient enough, so we cut a piece of 1/4-inch plywood and placed that on the back before screwing those through the MDF and into that plywood. To hang this unit on the wall, I really didn't want any screws showing on the back of the unit. I wanted a nice clean look. So what I did was I removed 2 of those snaps for the pool cue holder, and I screwed one through the back and into a wall stud, and then the other one I used a drywall anchor to screw into. With the pool cue rack done, we really needed a spot to hang the triangle. However, I didn't want to just hang it on the wall. I wanted to create more of a display, kind of like we did with the pool cue rack. So we opted to make a display that also housed the rules of 8-ball. As far as how to display the rules, we ultimately settled on having a friend of ours, Brenna from Pop Fizz Clink, laser etch the rules onto some offcuts that we used on the pool table so the wood would all match. For the frame, very similar to the pool cue rack, I mitered the edges, and I also cut a dado along the back to accept that 1/4-inch MDF that we painted black, and I finished it with a wipe-on poly. Before assembling the frame, we installed the rules onto that black piece of MDF using some 3/4-inch wood screws on the back. We also cut down a wood dowel that's going to hold the triangle, and then we pre-drilled that and we secured it through the back with a 1 1/4-inch wood screw. Then it was on to assembling the frame. We did so with some rapid fuse on those miter joints and then tacked those together with some pin nails. With the rules and the dowel installed onto the black piece of MDF, then we could slide that into that dado we cut and install the last piece of the frame. With that all together, I added a little piece of mounting tape to the bottom so that it wouldn't sway as we hung it. And I took 2 screws off the back of the sign and added washers and some wire, some picture hanging wire to the back of the sign so that we could hang it on a single screw. With a drywall anchor and a screw in the wall, then we could hang it in place and make sure it was nice and centered on the wall. If you want more details on this project, you can find out all that information on Ryobi Nation, and I'll have a link in the description that will take you right over there. As always, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do so right there so you won't miss out on any future projects. Until next time, be safe and happy building.